Need a ride? I can take you to any of the hold capitals. Where do you want to go? Climb and back, and we'll be off. First time to Solitude? Beautiful old city, capital of Skyrim, but I'm sure you already knew that.
If you've come to Solitude to join the Legion, speak to Rika. If not, just keep your nose clean while you're here, or you'll end up like Rogvi. You're just in time to say hello to Rugbeer.
They can't hurt Uncle Rogbeer. Tell them he didn't do it.
Positions.
Sorry you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
You betrayed us!
Traitor!
You should tell her that her uncle is scum that betrayed his High King. Best she know now, Advar.
You're all hearted in.
Rogver, you helped Ulfric Stormcloak escape the city after he murdered High King Torrik. By opening that gate for Ulfric, you betrayed the people of Solitude. He doesn't deserve to speak!
There was no murder. Ulfric challenged Torrik. He beat the High King in fair combat. Such is our way. Such is the ancient custom of Skyrim and all Nords.
On this day, I go to Sovngarde.
Some gate guard you were!
Welcome to the Winking Skeever. Take a load off and enjoy the atmosphere. Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend. Well, as it turns out, I had a pet skeever when I was a boy, and he used to wink. They were smaller back then. Varnius Junius stopped by here on his way to court. He was worried about something. I'm sure Falk Firebeard could tell you what. I've heard Jari Ra's hanging around the Wells district, looking for new blood to hire. People say there's a man wandering the streets near the Blue Palace. He seems distressed, but he's not making any sense. I think the Bard's College might be looking for recruits. You should speak to the head of the college, Viarmo, if you're interested. Remember the winking skeever next time you're footsore. Yes? Really? You're who she picked? I hope she knows what she's doing. Here's the deal. I can smuggle some equipment into the embassy for you. Don't plan on bringing anything else in with you. The Thalmor takes security very seriously. Give me what you can't live without, and I'll make sure to get it into the embassy. The rest is up to you. Okay, I'll get this inside the embassy for you. I've got to go. I'll find you at the party. Don't worry.
Yes, the prey has finally found the hunter, no? No? Giotto sees this, and this is good. But the hunter waits for you. The hunter is skilled in the sword and the bow. Giotto served many years aboard ships from elsewhere as deckhand and guard. Giotto has many stories he could tell of wondrous places he has seen. Giotto likes the night. Stars very pretty in Skyrim. Giotto sees better at night. Can be very sneaky then. Oh, very bad, my last ship. Very, very bad. Sailors no like Giotto's dog. Sailors kill Giotto's dog and throw him in the sea. Yes, Giotto likes dogs. Dogs are pretty. Can you get Giotto dog sometime? Oh, sad. That ship, very bad. Giotto leave and stay in Skyrim for a while. Look for work. Oh, like a test, and if the hunter make it there, we pass. Very clever.
Feel free to make requests. Sure. What can I do for you? Only true Imperials request that one. This is an ode to Skyrim's staunch protectors, the Imperials. We drink to our youth, to the days come and gone, for the age of aggression is just about done. We'll drive out the storm cloaks and restore what we own. With our blood and our steel, we will take back our home. Down with Ulfric, the killer of kings. On the day of your death, we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim, and we fight all our lives. And when Sovngarde beckons, every one of us dies. There's nothing like a good song to lift the spirit in troubled times. Sure. What can I do for you? Yes. This one's a favorite of mine. A legend we all know and love. Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes. With a voice-wielding power of the ancient Nord art. Believe, the Dragonborn comes.
Got to keep my eyes open. Damn dragons could swoop down at any time.
I'm not interested, Jari. It doesn't matter how many times you ask.
You might want to rethink that. You're missing out on some wonderful opportunities working in that bar.
Seems there's no end to the needs of the Imperials. But what can I help you with? It's almost all I have time for these days. The men training here in Solitude, and the troops out in the field. They all need weapons and armor. You should look into joining. They could use every hand they can get. To be honest, no. But High King Torygg supported them. And now, her Lady Elisif has thrown in with them. You could say I'm a king's man at heart. I guess that's Jarl's man now. My loyalty lies with Solitude. So, where Jarl Elisif leads, I follow. I think I would, if it weren't for my son and my wife. Oh, Sema would have my hide if I even suggested I might step foot on a battlefield. You think Stormcloaks and Legionnaires are dangerous? Ha! Take a look. Return anytime you need arms or armor. My forge never rests. Weapons forgiven, armor forgotten.
The Empress' cousin Vittoria Vici is getting married soon. The reception will be public. Anyone in Solitude can attend.
A wise course of action, my Jarl. However, we have little food or water to spare.
General Tullius would never allow that. He's ordered all surplus food to be given over for the war effort.
I swear to you, unnatural magics are coming from that cave. There are strange noises and lights. We need someone to investigate.
Then we will immediately send out a legion to scour the cave and secure the town. Hafengar's people will always be safe under my rule.
Your Eminence, my scrying has suggested nothing in the area. Dragon Bridge is under Imperial control. This is likely superstitious nonsense.
Perhaps a more tempered reaction might be called for?
Oh, yes, of course, you were right. Falk, tell Captain Aldous I said to assign a few extra soldiers to Dragon Bridge.
Thank you, Jarl Elisif. What about the cave?
I will have someone take care of the cave as well, Varnius. You can rest easy. You're dismissed.
I've got what I came for. I better get back to Dragon Bridge.
Here in the city, Briley. We'll need to visit each home for an assessment.
Is it that time again already? Very well. Let's meet this evening and make the arrangements.
Oh, well done. Very subtle.
If you have business, please see Falk Firebeard, my steward.
Imply that you'd be meeting for purposes other than court business? You must forgive me.
The Imperials are good for business, and business is good for Skyrim.
I should very much like to see you try it with your steward.
Stop it, both of you. You're acting like children.
Do you have business with the court? You mean the Dragon Bridge issue? I'll be honest with you. I was planning to let that go. Varnius is a bit jumpy at the best of times. There have been reports of weird happenings near Wolfskull Cave. Travelers disappearing, odd lights. I suspect wild animals, or perhaps bandits. I don't think it's worth our time with the war going on. But if you want to clear out the cave, I'll make sure you're repaid for your work. The cave has a bad history. Long ago, Potema the Wolf Queen used it for necromantic rituals. That's where it got the name. That was over 500 years ago. Nothing much down there now. But everyone's always convinced the cave is haunted. The Jarl has put out a bounty on some bandits. Here, take a look at this decree for details. Of course he does. What sort of a question is that? Maybe you've been listening to Eriker. There's been loose talk among some of the Thanes, and I suspect he's the cause of it. You'll pay those rumors no heed if you wish to retain your welcome in this city. She may be young, but Elisif is the Jarl by right. And here in Skyrim, if nothing else, we respect the traditions of our fathers' fathers. You'd do well to remember that. That remains to be seen. By rights, she has a legitimate claim as High Queen of Skyrim. But we must have the support of the other Jarls for that claim to have any meaning. Should they accept her rule, we will have peace. Feel free to return to me with questions. The Blue Palace is an open forum.
Greetings, Archmage. May I help you, Archmage? I was a member of the court during the reign of Torig's father. It was Torig who appointed me to the position. Very. I helped raise him. Oh, I could not have been more proud to see Torig on the throne. He made a fine king. A fine king. Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them.
Good afternoon. I'm Pantia Atia, the master vocalist. I'm a bard from the Bard's College here in Solitude. Wanderers like you should think about applying. Now you can say you've met the most talented bard in all of Skyrim.
Welcome to the Bard's College. I'm the headmaster here. How may I help you? Always a pleasure to meet a prospective bard. You should be aware that many apply, but we accept very few people. When possible, we ask applicants to perform tasks the college needs completed. In this case, I do have a task befitting an aspiring bard. Elisif has forbidden the burning of King Olaf, a festival put on by the Bard's College. We need to change her mind. To convince her, I want to read King Olaf's verse, a part of the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim. Unfortunately, the verse was lost long ago. Yes, according to Giraud, our history's keeper, the portion of the Edda dealing with King Olaf might still exist in Dead Man's Respite. I need you to retrieve the poem. Not much, to be honest. Their return was a shock to us all. Gerard Germain has some tomes about them in the library, if you're interested.
Early rendition tomorrow, understand?
As you may be aware, Elisif's husband, High King Torig, was recently killed. Elisif mourns her husband deeply, and she feels that a festival that burns a king in effigy is distasteful. I tried to convince her the festival is many centuries old and celebrates solitude, but I need proof. I believe King Olaf's verse will provide that proof. I think Giraud here would give you the best explanation of both it and the history of King Olaf's verse. You should speak to him about it.
I'm sure it will be fine.
Not much, but as a bard, I find the whole affair depressing. There are no heroes in this war, no winners to be had, and no real conclusion. If you want something a bard can dig into, look to the dragons. 1,000 years from now, Skyrim will have changed rulers dozens of times, but the return of the dragons, that story is once in an era. I wish you luck in finding the verse.
Ildi, what year did the Aldmeri Dominion invade the Empire?
Late 171.
Good Ildi, soak in the lore. Yorn, what happened during the Red Year?
Morrowind suffered a massive explosion?
Vardenfell's Red Mountain erupts. Try to be precise, Yorn. Remember, being a bard isn't just about the music.
How are your students coming along?
Bunch of distractions, if you ask me. They just interrupt the rest of my work.
I'm sorry to break it to you, Giraud, but students are an unfortunate necessity of a college. Do try to persevere.
Yes, Headmaster. Good to meet a prospective bard. He's sending you after King Olaf's verse, then. That's good. We shouldn't leave it lying around now that I figured out where it is. The verse was Svafnir's contribution to the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim. Each bard adds to the Edda in his or her time. And a very ancient one. The verse criticized the reigning King Olaf. He was so incensed the bard was put to death and all the copies burned. At least, that's what we thought until I translated some ancient texts a year or so ago. We now believe King Olaf buried the truth with the bard. If I'm right, Svafnir and King Olaf's verse lie in Dead Men's Respite, along with the burial chamber of King Olaf himself. Well, we've come to the right place. Be careful. You might find more than just King Olaf's verse in Dead Man's Respite.
I'm Dean of Lute at the Bard's College, and no, I don't give private lessons.
Lady Atia says my voice is second only to hers, but she's selling me short.
You're new here, right? Welcome to the Bard's College. It's like a musical museum. You know, I don't get the impression that I'm very well liked at the college.
I wish only to graduate and enroll with the Legion. My drums will lead our troops to victory. It's an honor to have Viarmo for instruction on drum, but it's far too reserved for my tastes. And why wouldn't I be? We sing tales of kings, queens, and their politics, 'tis true. But do you know who really makes history? The person who writes it. Farewell, stranger.
We have a fine selection of herbs here at Angela's Aromatics.
If you're looking for potions, you should talk to my aunt, Angeline Morard.
You're a traveler, correct? Have you been to Whiterun? Wonderful. I hadn't really hoped to run into someone who'd been there. My daughter Fura was assigned to Whiterun after she joined the Imperial Army. I was hoping you might have met her. I haven't heard from her lately. I've tried talking to Captain Aldous, but he hasn't been any help. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Anything you can find out from Captain Aldous would be welcome news. We mostly carry herbs and alchemical ingredients, that sort of thing. Before the war, our stock was mostly used for aromatic use in homes. Yes. These days, we have more people like you coming in, looking for healing and the like. So you're interested in my potions and ingredients? No. Mostly, I'm just a simple herbalist. Lami over in Mothall should be able to help you. Don't forget me next time you need herbs and potions.
You look like an adventurous one. I bet we're kindred spirits, you and I. You were there for Rogvir's execution.
Could you check out supplies of mandrake root? It's the root that looks like an ugly little man.
Most people head over to the Winking Skeever. If you're not interested in music or drink, you can at least talk to Corpulus. He can fill you in on any of the latest gossip. Perhaps, but necessary. My cousin Fura is somewhere out there in Skyrim right now, fighting Ulfric Stormcloak and his damned insurrectionists. She wouldn't have to be there at all if it weren't for Rogvir. And my aunt wouldn't have to worry about her daughter. You really don't know? He lets Ulfric Stormcloak escape Solitude. Ulfric rides in, murders the High King, and Rogvir lets him ride right back out. I understand you're an important person. I'll catch up with you later.